Yeah. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. I don't know if you tune in to Apple. I think you just hit the play button.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So thanks for listening. Thanks for using your thumbs and digits.
One more time.
One more time.
Mm-hmm.
One more time. Remember that jam?
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thanks for humoring me.
He's not believing in you.
Guys, I'm Gunner. Here with me, my two good friends, Norm. Hey, Norm, what's up?
Hi, Gunner.
Hi.
How are you today?
Oh, you know, it's Case of the Mondays.
It's Case of the Monday. Happy President's Day. Happy President's Day.
Beside Norm, we got Bernie. Bernie, what's crack-a-lackin'?
How's it going, Gun?
It's going good.
Norm?
Hi, Bernie.
Guys, I don't know if you knew this, but I did upload our audio to YouTube yesterday.
We are going places.
So we are on the YouTube channel under Whataboutery Podcast. Right now, I think it had 35 views overnight.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know why.
So how many times did you watch it?
I think 30.
I didn't even know.
I didn't either. News to me.
Yeah, I watched it 34 times.
Were
So
we promoted on our Facebook page or Insta?
I think that I put the link on Twitter. So I don't know if you're on Twitter or not.
I am.
I'm allergic to birds, so.
What happens there? You get the bird flu?
He's not a big twatter.
What's that mean?
Nice. So yeah, we have, I think the Apple podcast stats had like 45 plays, and they're all unique plays. So if I keep on wanting to hear it over and over again and saying, okay, we got to do better, or that was awesome, I don't think it counts mine every single time that I listen to. So that was unique, but hey, it's better than one download or three for us.
That's it.
More than tens.
More than tens is more gooder.
Yeah. So I don't know how many people actually subscribe to us, but we definitely had more than tens of listens. So in your face.
Eat it, Stu.
Yes, Stewie. Come on, bro. I wasn't going to say any names, but Big Dog called you out on that one. Nice, dude. It was a rough day. Case of the Mondays for that guy. So each week we tried to bring up a topic. What about whatever? Last week was what about words and phrases that turned into impersonations of Christopher Walken, and
It did.
and great impersonations of Jimmy Stewart by you. So from me.
I appreciated yours.
Yeah, it was
It's my favorite.
Johnny Carson was my favorite.
That was great.
Yeah, the unintentional Johnny Carson was
That was good.
lost as soon as I was cognizant that I was trying to do it. So that friggin' crazy bastards. So last week was about what about words and phrases. This week, we're going to talk about what about things we wanted to invent or would even invent now if we could. There was a couple of ideas that I thought about when I was younger, in my 40s.
Like what? What was your invention idea?
Well, before I tell you that, I'll tell you one thing I used to do with guys.
Kiss.
Back then, the Me Too movement wasn't as big. So, yeah, big dummy. Nice one, though.
That was,
I guess,
quick.
In relation to attention seeking, I used to joke around with people and tell them that Coolio was at my 12-year-old birthday party. And I would tell them, yeah, we got out the slip and slide. And that's where he came up with that lyric, that slide, slippity slide from A Fantastic Voyage. People didn't believe me, but I don't know why I'm telling you now, but
you got to get it off your chest.
I do.
A little self-hate.
Yeah, people still didn't believe me though. So that's who gives a crap. So inventions. So one invention I wanted to do when I was younger, I think it just became too costly, was since I wear glasses, I wanted to invent glasses where you just buy frames, buy all the frames of different colors you want to match whatever outfit you were wearing, and just pop out the lenses into the new ones and back in and out. I even compared the pop and lock grip to like a magic marker cap, using that kind of tech. Yeah, you're big on tech, Norm. I remember with Trust Me's. I forgot it was called Trust Me's. So I knew the pens, and then I was like, okay, what did he say it should be called? I was thinking, we'll see's.
We hope so's.
Yeah. Maybe not.
One thing about Will C's, they won't smack you in the face if they make fun of your wife.
What?
He has the Mondays also.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so that was one invention. Bernie, do you have any inventions?
Actually, yes. When I was younger, we had the weed eaters that were electric. Gas wasn't out yet, or my dad just didn't want to do it. There was 3 2x4s. They're put together like in the shape of an eye. and I would have to wrap 150 foot of extension cord around this stupid ass piece of wood. So I told my dad, I'm like, hey, can't we just put a bigger bolt in the bottom and then put the drill on it and then just wind it in? He's like, no, that's a waste of time. Let's go goddamn stupid. Like, no, just wrap it up. Quit being lazy. So we go to move from a house to where I live now. And in the back of the shed, I find this piece of wood with a bolt on it. I think he was doing it behind my back, like when I wasn't around. The lazy bastard was
try it out to see if it works.
He was like, "Well, son of a bitch!" But it was perfect. It was nice. It looked really good.
Yeah.
But he just wouldn't let me do it. I'm like,
you can't have that thunder.
That's not building character. That's just you being an aggressive,
That's great.
mean father.
Most dads hate joy.
So it obviously worked.
Yeah, just do the work. What a great idea.
When that bastard's not around, I'm gonna do that shit. That's what he did.
You'll check with the patent office and see he's already.
He was rich. He passed away rich. We have nothing for it.
That's a good one, man. Honestly, I didn't know that weed eaters were electric before they were gas. I thought it was always gas.
Maybe they were. I'm talking probably like 79, 80. I don't know when the gas weed eaters were around.
Wouldn't have been a good invention to have to come out with your own version of an electronic weed eater. Call it the Boogie Woogie. Wouldn't it be great? Is that a gas weed eater? No, it's electric.
Boogie woogie.
The friggin' setup and spike.
Yes.
You got him.
We like to call that a 3-pointer. Mm-hmm.
In volleyball?
Hockey. At best.
3 points.
What is it? Set, spike, dig?
Puck it.
That was good. Norm, what about you? Yeah.
You probably don't want to know. This whole, what do you call it?
know.
LGBTQ, whatever the hell it is. Why not come out with a breakfast cereal that caters to that side of the fence? Hear me out. Queerios. You pour milk on them and watch them eat each other.
Jesus. Wow.
I think it's brilliant.
No, yeah, man. That's a targeted audience.
A little different from pork and beans.
on that one.
Pork and beans.
Pork and beans.
Little
I
different.
thought you were referring to that Ben Stiller movie.
Frank and beans.
Frank and beans. That's a good invention. So after I realized that the eyeglasses and having to create probably an assembly line in manufacturing and all the costs associated with creating eyeglasses, I was like, well, let's go cheaper. And I was thinking of creating your own greeting cards that really have an end result that would be not up to par, not your normal end result. So it would be definitely targeted for the surprise, something that they could sell at Spencer Gifts or something.
Right.
But I never really came up with any.
Are you talking like, hey, sorry to hear you have herpes, but at least you have them forever? Like that?
Along those lines. Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And it's not wrong.
No.
It's not wrong.
Well, they come and go, right? I think, don't they? Oh, just
That's how you get them.
They're like, herpes are like rainy days.
or a case of the Mondays. They're inflamed. Is that right? Is that
Those
that
are
on
hemorrhoids.
point?
Yeah, I think those are hemorrhoids.
I think herpes can get inflamed.
they could.
Let me make a call.
I don't know.
So could you also call hemorrhoids Asperger's?
Ooh,
The way it looks? They're all swollen and dangly. Hamburger back there.
ass boogers.
Asperger.
Man, I so wanted to say burger.
I don't even know her.
I put you out there.
Dang it. Dang nabbit. Yeah, so that's a good one. I didn't really have any good ones. I probably did at the time. I don't have anything at the top of my head.
I think it would be nice if you had greeting cards, but they like I imagine Hallmark, a lot of companies do, but they're all subdivided into like different editions, and then you focus on one topic, one human topic, and then you just have a shit ton of them that fit. Like I have this one that I wrote today. That's it's the Get Well Soon edition, right? It's a little derivative. I think it's been done before. But this one, this Get Well Soon edition, you haven't given a shit in years. Get well soon, you emotionally constipated bastard. Or
That's pretty good.
there's the I dropped this one on my wife today. See if she liked them. But
Yeah.
this one, she just looked at me funny. This is the ambiguous weight loss edition.
It's quite.
It's
quite
in the voice of Terry
heavy.
Stool. Girl. If you was a dinosaur, you would be Gorgeosaurus. It's ambiguous. And she's like, What? It's gorge. Like that. It's a weight loss edition.
Man,
There's the Good News Viagra edition. Now you can get it over the counter if you take 2.
Ooh, I think they call that BOGO.
This one's my favorite. It's the Wingman edition. Don't you let her talk you into having sex on the hood of her Civic. You should do it on your own accord.
Nice.
Little shout out to the car manufacturers out there.
Yeah.
Honda.
Or, specifically Honda. For sure.
So my niece just had a baby, so I come up with this, the childbirth edition. Hey, heard you just had a baby. I knew you had it in you. The birthday edition.
Yeah.
You tell your wife. So, it's your birthday. I bought you a new refrigerator. Can't wait to see you open it. I want to see your face light up. Because it's...
2 days on these.
Yeah, 2 days. The bad weather edition. Hey, I heard the tornado blew 25% of your roof off. Oof.
That's pretty good.
Sorry to hear you have diabetes. You're still sweet to me.
You're still sweet to me.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. That was a good
I
one.
like it. Another invention, not to get off topic from greeting cards, but my psychiatrists are interesting people to begin with. You know, when they go to the bathroom, you can't hear them. The pee is silent. So he had a, you put those blades on the weed eater, the little plastic teeth things, to cut down the heavy brush. So he was doing that, and he took his big toe off. Oof. So he had actually invented an appendage, a giant rubber toe. Then he was so captivated by his effort, he even changed his name to Roberto.
Nice.
True story.
That is a true story?
It's a true story.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I went to the library the other day and asked the librarian about books on paranoia. She said, they're behind you.
God.
You ever hear the blonde joke of the blonde that goes into the library? She goes up to the library and she's like, can I get a cheeseburger? The librarian says, ma'am, you're in a library. She goes, oh, can I get a cheeseburger?
What other inventions? Anything that you thought that they should make? I was telling Norm, this isn't the sponsor or anything, but how much I love Great American Cookie Company cookies, cakes. I love them so much. I wish that I could order. There's not enough occasions going on in my life to where I can order them more often. So I was thinking there have been times where I've thought about wanting to just order it and just make something up just to get more icing. So I was telling him, like, I don't know, good tidings of great joy on your anniversary, Bartholomew and Alexandria.
You were right back to diabetes.
You want to layer down in the vanilla and then highlights?
I don't think there's a letter cutoff when you order. So if you wanted more icing, I think you just make up names. And
you gotta just go and ask them to smear the whole top. No words.
Did they do
Blank
that?
slate. I don't know. It'd be worth a shot.
Yeah, you could have everything written in Braille.
Dimple, dimple, dimple. Dimple, dimple.
That's usually their decorations on the corners. It's like,
forget Betty Crocker. We've got the Helen Keller cake. The phone wouldn't stop ringing, so Helen answered the cake. Helen Keller good. Jokes are terrible.
My wife contracted Bell's palsy, so I didn't realize the seriousness of it or the potential longevity of how Bell's palsy could last. Like, it's been over a year now. So we come in and I thought, always inappropriately joke around at the wrong time, which is most times. So I come in from work and she's like, half of her face is drooping down. I'm like, hey babe, long day. Why the long face? Yeah. Luckily, it was so soon she laughed too. But then I seen the Facebook reminder of a year later and I'm like, it's not as funny a year later.
My wife had Bell's palsy also. Yeah, I guess way before I knew her. I guess she was pillow fighting with her boyfriend and the zipper cut her. And she was...
from an infection.
She was half frozen.
I never got Bell's palsy from a pillow fight. I got pink eye once or twice from.
Probably got a swollen colon too.
Swollen colon. That was my nickname when I worked for the Department of Defense. Swollen colon, Pow.
Is pow the sound?
Yeah. That the colon makes. Swollen colon pow.
Bang, the world. Remember Dana Carvey used to do that, like, pow, bang, the world. He was trying to imitate, I believe, like Mickey Rooney or something like that. Like, in the whole world, pow, bang, the world.
He was great.
He still is.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, so Inventions.
When I was a kid, I worked for Red Oaks Golf Course growing up, and I mostly cut the grass and stuff. Back then, it was a 9-hole course. So you would run out of some grass to cut. So they would put you on a driving range, especially on a bad day if it was rainy, and you had to go out and pick up golf balls off the driving range. And I always wanted to invent like something called the ball grabber. Mm-hmm. But they said that I would have to work on the name a little bit. And I was like, just drop them, put them in a sack, and off you go. It was a good job, though. I remember we had a pro that worked there, and he gave golf lessons on Fridays. And this woman come in, and I think he was kind of sweet on her. She was a nice-looking broad, but she come in. She's like, I want to learn how to golf and all this. And so he starts taking her out every Friday for these golf lessons. And about 5 Fridays in, she comes in and says, I'm ready to golf all by myself. So I give her some keys to a cart and get a set of rental clubs. And I don't know, I guess they bless it. So he's like, let's do it. That's great. I'll be right here if you need me. She was gone about 30 minutes. She come back and she was sweating really bad and walking kind of funny. And he says, what happened? She wipes a tear away and she says, I got stung by a bee while I was out there. And he says, where did you get stung? She goes, it was between the first and second hole. And he says, well, that's because your stance is too wide. We've talked about this.
That's a big buildup.
Yeah.
That was a good story.
It's a true story. It's a true story.
Norm Macdonald does jokes that long, if you remember.
The moth joke. Yeah.
The moth joke that he does.
I told that at work the other day. Gosh. And I drug it out for like 40 minutes.
Dude, speaking of, I worked at a golf course too, over at the country club, and I had to clean the driving range. I was the ball grabber. Don't say shocker.
We figured.
But no, they had these.
Watch me pick them up with no hands.
They had this attachment to the
penis.
Was that the end? Yeah. On your the tractor mower, it had a trailer, a hitch. It collected them. Yeah, and you just drove the range.
It would throw the balls into the baskets.
Most of them were, since that driving range at that country club was on a slope. They were all kind of down, down on one side, so that made it kind of easy.
Yeah,
and hard at the same time.
Puts the balls in the basket.
He said hard. I know it's bad.
It was win.
It was a win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it'd take off.
You're saying win or when?
W-I-N, win, not when.
What?
Why
are you saying what? What way?
When?
You ever see that movie, Hot Rod?
No, I don't think so.
The secret word is whiskey. Why are you saying it like that? Why am I saying what? What way?
What about a pill for chameleons? Let's just say in a hypothetical, chameleon, let's just say couldn't get his colors up. There's got to be something out there for a reptile dysfunction. You didn't see that one coming.
I still can't see it. Wait, I'm thinking this out.
Yeah. It blended right in.
A chameleon erect. Oh, rep with
a reptile.
That was a joke that you told the other day. What? what joke?
Oh,
that was a good one. I think that you should tell that one. I can't remember what it was. But
the last sound a pubic hair makes before it hits the floor.
Yeah. And then Bernie, I think you added on to. Bernie's night got crazy.
Right. This vagina looks like Robin Williams' knuckle. What's happening here?
Yeah, we didn't publish my good podcast. Trash.
Tell me the good parts I missed.
I don't remember.
Oh, I know that we
It
had
was
a big
before the
debate about
first
the
and sixth
seal
Bud
and
Light.
walrus for a good 5 minutes, but
That was pretty funny. The whole conversation went on for 25 minutes with Gunnar asking why walruses rape seals,
yeah.
But it turned out seals rape penguins, which is even worse.
which is even worse.
I'm a big
You think that's why they walk funny?
I'm a big theory guy. I have to know the whys. I don't know why that is. It's crazy.
You kind of answered your own question. I hate it when people answer their own questions. Don't you? I do.
Is that what I did?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. So, did you say who kills penguins or rapes penguins? what was
Seals rape penguins.
Not the
Not the rapper.
guy, the singer. Seal.
The singer against the hockey team. Which that might be funny to watch.
seal against the penguins?
Just him by himself against the penguins.
Just taking them down one bun by one bun.
That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, he's pucking every one of them.
Oh. Wow. What else? As far as inventions, no other inventions? Nothing that we can think of? I know Norm came prepared for great. Did you have any more?
I have a good knock-knock joke for you. Actually, I have two good knock-knock jokes for you. So, knock-knock.
Who's there?
To.
To who?
It's to whom? Bernie, knock-knock.
Who's there?
Dishes.
Dishes who?
This is Sean Connery.
Oh, man.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Orange.
Orange who?
Orange, you glad I didn't say banana?
Weren't you glad he didn't say Sean Connery?
I got a Nazi knock-knock joke for you. Ready? Knock-knock.
Who's there?
I will ask the questions.
I got one for Bernie. All right, you start it off.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
John.
John who?
John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo who?
John Leguizamo all night long.
Oh, man.
Great.
There was a story I learned in high school about, because where we live, there's all the Native American stories, you know, everything rooted here was from different Indian tribes, Blackfoot, and what is it?
Domingo.
The Mingo, yeah. So there was one that people didn't know a lot about, the Fakaris. They were amazing hunters, but they were terrible about, you know, their sense of direction wasn't the best. And they were on the other end, the south end of the Ohio River in this particular instance. And they were hunting, but they had gotten lost. And the Blackfoot tribe was up on top of the mountaintop. And they were looking down and they watched them. And the Fakaris had looked up and saw that they were being watched. So the Blackfoot chief put his staff up. He says, "We're Blackfoot." And the tribe leader of the other group looked up and said, "Where the fuck are we?" So
We're back to it. As our listeners know, we took a 10-minute pause.
Pause for the
to
cause.
regain our thoughts because we were freaking derailing. So let's try to get back to inventions. Norm, I think before we started tonight's podcast, we were talking about, we drank a few beers and such the other night. And so I asked you how you felt the next day. And you said that beer kind of bugs you.
it does, man. I don't know what it is. It's like, I went to the doctors for it and they said it's like, it's not the beer, you know.
It's all the semen.
It's not. I was never in the Navy. But yeah, it just tears my stomach up. So then I started like branching off, like, well, I'll try, which makes no sense. I'll try some whiskey. You know,
Yeah,
that'll do it.
harder is easier.
Yeah. So like Jim Beam, I can't touch it. Like most bourbons, vodkas, can't have it.
Yeah.
Can't get through it. But the strange thing is Jack Daniels doesn't bother me at all.
That's crazy.
It is so crazy, dude. So I can drink, like I'll drink a fifth of Jack. Company over have a fire or something.
A fifth.
A fifth of Jack.
It's that Friday night fun spitting out.
Yeah. Thanks, Jack Daniels. You saved my life. Doesn't bother me. It's really weird. Like it does. I don't even feel like a stack of assholes the next day. Like if I drink a fifth, I go to work the next day. I'm like, it's weird. I mean, I'm not saying I don't get drunk, but
Jim,
I don't feel like awful the next day. I'm completely
Really?
functional. But if I drink
Jim
Jim
Beam,
Beam, it's get a hold of my gynecologist, get everybody in on this because I'm dying.
That's crazy.
It's so crazy.
Because of the mash.
I think it's the way they filter it. So it's charcoal filtered. And I think that has something to do about it.
That's funny because for me, I'm a Miller Lite guy. But if I drink Budweiser products, I know you drink some Bud Light sporadically.
Budweiser, Bud Light, yeah.
I get the worst headaches like after the,
Me too.
the second
I
beer.
used to, yeah.
And I wonder, I think it's all the hops or something that's in Budweiser.
It's a very marsupial beer.
I think it's your vagina. It's yeasty.
Did you say yeast?
It's yeasty in your
It's
vagina.
yeasty. Hey, bread pants, come over here.
What's with that loaf, sweetie?
Too much yeast.
We're going to Gunner's Bakery.
All the hops in the Budweiser gives me an infection. So I don't know why Miller Lite never does that for me, but Budweiser products do that. Oh,
You've always drank Miller Lite, though, haven't you?
yeah. For the
Well,
most-
you said that you had Modelo, and it didn't bother you.
Yeah, I think it was some oil rig guys over in Weirton. was
I don't know.
His
offered.
name was Modelo?
Yeah, Modelo was fine. He was great. Tasted fine.
He's like some oil rig guys across the river.
Oil rig guys, they were all sweaty and dirty. Yingling doesn't really mess me up too much either.
There's some lager in the fridge.
Yeah, he's sweaty too.
A little different from the Orig guys.
My Yingling.
Nothing brings the wood like a logger.
Good stuff.
So what was the invention then? Creating something that
We got to come up with we need to come up with a drink that doesn't make you feel like a stack of dead cats the next day.
That'd be amazing. I think that's what they were going for with like the whole White Claw,
Yeah,
like,
I think so.
seltzer deal.
I think so too.
There's enough sugar in there to make
But you
not
have
feel
to have
like
a
crap the
lisp
next day.
for it to taste good.
they have hangovers.
I don't even know.
No, but do you remember the song that used to come on the radio, the 12 Things of Christmas that are such a pain to me? Like one of them is the guy's like, hangovers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy was just stringing up the lights. One goes out, they all go out.
Hangovers.
Hangovers. The one time, because someone's yelling beforehand, like at number 6, he's like, oh, jeez. Here's an invention that I would like, and I think I texted you guys a little bit about this, but if you were on like an adult website and you wanted to pay for a personalized video for you to where they would customize you, hey, Sam, like when people are like, hey, say my name, just say my name. So you pay for that, right? But here's the kicker. You would enter your name like you would for your answer machine. Right. And so the girl was talking. And so it could be interchangeable to where she'd be like, hey, baby. Oh, yeah. I love it when you tease me. Gunner. It's just interchangeable. So next time you listen to it, like, yeah, I wish that you were laying next to me all night. Norm.
It's your own voice.
It's your own voice. Yeah.
It's your own voice. It'd be like, we're not going to use last names here or whatever. Like, oh, man, I wish that you were just laying right next to me. Norman Johnson.
That is my last name.
Yeah. I just always thought that was so funny to even think about. And you paid for that, It's just
That'd be hilarious to send like to an enemy or a boss.
Yeah.
Or their wife gets it by accident. Like, all these personalized videos. That's my voice.
It's for my answering machine. It's for my voicemail.
Answering machine.
Those voicemail things. So
Speaking
we've
about
had voicemail out since the early 90s, right? I think it's been late 80s, early 90s for voicemail.
Yeah.
Back then they called it the answering service.
Answering machine. You had them little tapes.
The tapes, yeah.
With some crazy jingle. You got to wait for the beep. You got to leave your name. You got to leave your number.
God would always put Def Jams in the back of his.
Hell yeah, I did. You guys, I don't think we were in the same genre of music growing up.
We weren't.
Because I
Not
was
even close.
I was jamming out to New Edition, Ready for the World. You know Ready for the World? Oh, Sheila.
Oh, Sheila.
Yeah, remember the like. So I used to always say like, it's like I always say, what's good for the goose is always good for the gander. Oh, Sheila.
Did you have candy-coated raindrops on yours?
Hell yeah, I did. That was so for real. That was a jam. Love that.
Look, he's surprised I knew it.
You name it, I probably had it. Not herpes.
Ah.
I know where you were.
I thought that's where Norm was going.
Norm was thinking about it. I could see.
Do you remember that?
I could hear his mind thinking.
Do you remember that time you almost had AIDS?
What happened then?
That's a true story.
I didn't know. I was going to say it. And I was like, I'm not. I don't know who's going to hear that.
You thought you had AIDS?
I didn't know.
He was struggling for like a week. I felt horrible for him.
I don't.
Did you give him AIDS?
No, the guy's name was Bill. No. Dirty Dick Dave.
The girl,
like we all worked together.
Somebody,
obviously.
she had a buddy. Who was the guy? I don't remember his name, but she had a buddy that worked with us for a while. Big dude that knew her, but he's the one that kind of mentioned it. And she went MIA. It's like she could just up and left.
She went MIA or she went HIV?
Both. Well, we thought.
LOL.
Dude, I remember Gunn struggling. Like it was over. Like he diagnosed himself, and who was that guy? He was an asshole.
Yeah.
He was a jealous prick because you were with who he wanted to be with, so he just shattered you to be a cock. Was it that Pistol Pete? That Pete? Remember? Pete.
Remember he brought fried chicken into work for lunch every day?
Big
Pistol
dude
Pete?
from Weirton. Pete.
It was Five Fingers Freddy.
He was good with. He was friends with Pete. Huge dude, bald, barrel chested.
I don't remember.
Pistol Pete.
Had the nickname named Pistol Pete.
Oh. So the girl was MIA. She wouldn't leave my house, like my apartment, when we first started hooking up.
Crazy.
And then I was like, you gotta go. you gotta leave.
Gunn's a good guy until a certain point, and then he don't really mind.
3 months later,
You gotta go.
They either leave or I marry him. It's one or the other. I was like, you gotta make a decision. I'm like, oh well, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But I took her home. She lived in like Mingo or something, and she just stopped coming to work, and I didn't hear from her again. And Birdie hit me like freaking from outfield, like it was an outfield home base throw. Didn't you almost have AIDS?
I made it a point to always bring it up to you. Every time I see you, if it's an extended period of time, I'm like, dude, you remember that time you almost had AIDS?
Totes my goats.
Totes my goats. That's something that we talked about via text, I think, is words that we used back in the day that we don't use anymore. You know, I remember being young where calling someone pud was a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was Sam to you pud whacker.
Pud.
Yeah, you freaking sped.
Sped.
Remember Spaz?
Spaz. Yeah. Do you remember Spaz? Do you remember?
When I went to junior high school, it was 7th through 9th, and I had not hit my growth stage yet. Obviously, I don't know if I've changed much now, but I'm this geeky kid with big glasses. The glasses were big and plastic back then. My hair's all spiked up. I had still had a little bit of the Billy Ray Cyrus thing going on in the back.
Mini mullet.
And freshmen. These guys had full grown beards and shit. And here I am, like discovering myself still. And
what is it, like Ponce de Leon?
It's like it's a blank canvas.
I'm gonna Christopher Columbus myself all weekend.
the world is your oyster. And
here comes the Santa Maria.
So these freshmen would always, I'd be at the locker or something in the hallway, and they'd be like, Jimmy Jam, what's up, Jimmy Jam? What's going on? And I'm like, that's not even a bad nickname. That's pretty good. And I looked it up. There used to be an old show on the USA Network called Dance Party USA. There was this little dancer named Jimmy Jam. He had the biggest Coke bottled glasses that I've ever, it made his eyes look like they were coming out of his head. Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, that was not a compliment.
But he was a good dancer.
Well, he was.
He danced with all the hot girls.
He did, but it's almost like, hey, let's let the nerd go for a few and cheer him on. And that's what that's what it made me feel like. Like Rudy. let the nerd play it down. The freaking complainer. Well, just let me try, coach. Come on, give me a chance. It's my senior year. My parents are going to be here. I hate Notre Dame.
Damn Jerome Bettis.
Freaking touchdown Jesuses. There's been so many names I was called growing up. So do you remember Alf? I was called.
I remember Alf, the show.
A good friend of mine lived dyingly. He'd be like, hey, Willie. he said I'd look like Willie Tanner or whatever the hell his name was. The dad on Alf. And I'm like, God dang it. So names. I'm sure it didn't end there. But anyways, names that we called each other back then: Goober, Sped, Pud Whacker, Pud,
Mouth breather.
Neckbeard.
Mouth Breeder.
Neck beard.
Neckbeard.
What was that?
It's the hillbilly dudes who have beards that come down their neck.
Yeah.
They call them neckbeards.
Neck beards.
A thing to call trumpers and trumpetarians.
Huh.
It's a slam, I guess.
Neck beards.
Sounds like a pirate.
I was just thinking that.
A butt
Yeah.
I
pirate.
was just thinking that.
A butt pirate.
Good old
Neck
neckbeard,
pirate.
Butt pirate.
I'm
Wash your
gonna
back
steal
and
your
take your booty
jewelry.
back.
Part of the
neck jewelry.
MAGA crew. My ass gets ass. So one time I had these ripped jeans. I was coming out of a club. And there was a girl that I was trying to talk to. And I was getting out of my chair, and there was like a nail sticking out. I ripped my jeans, and so I'm outside. I'm getting ready to leave. I'm like, I can't let her see me like that. And then I heard a voice. It was her behind me, and she goes, "I'm sure you know you got ripped jeans." And I was trying to act, you try to act all tough, and I'm like, yeah, they're designed that way. Makes it easier for people to kiss my ass.
Did you get her number?
Nope. I don't know. You probably.
Her shoe size, maybe.
I gave her AIDS.
Transfer.
But yeah, an invention of beer.
Wow. Sheesh.
Is this thing on? Check.
What's the difference between a garbanzo bean and a chickpea?
You've never had a garbanzo bean in your face?
No, just in my beard. I had my kid tell that. I told my son that joke. Then I waited till we got in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Me, him, and his mom were like, "Hey, Bub, what's the difference?" And he goes, "Don't make me say it." I'm like, "What is it?" But he's like, "It's here. Mom's here. Don't make me say it."
Mom's here.
Like, he goes, "I never had a chickpea on my face." I'm like, "No, you're supposed to say you never had a garbanzo bean." He goes, "Oh,
Right.
And my wife's like, "What?"
Reminds you of Tommy Boy. It's got to be your bull. Do you remember that?
Never, because he can't get a good look at a.
You can get a good look at a T-bone steak by sticking your head up a bull's ass, but I'd rather take the butcher's word for it. And so when he was trying to redo it, he's like, "You can get a good look at your butcher." Wait a minute. It's got to be your bull.
Roads.
That
That was just on the other day.
Roads.
Roads.
That was Black Sheep with Chris
you're
Farley.
right.
Yeah, they
You're
were
right.
all high from the nitrous oxide in the car.
Yep.
In the car.
My friend's mom tried to do the old Jose joke. She goes, so the Mexican family next door told her kids to go outside and do the gardening. So she got hose 1 and hose 2. And they sprayed it down, I think. I was like, what? What? It's like a Jose Hose B joke? Oh my God, you've heard it. It's like, no. No.
Oh, she used numbers instead of letters.
Yeah, she's alphanumeric. His face. Well, back to the idea of inventions. So, dog food, right? They have cat flavored dog food. Oh, they don't. Let's do it. Think about it.
See it.
They got chicken flavored dog food, pork flavored dog food. When have you seen cat flavored dog
I
food?
haven't.
Mailman flavored dog food. New company coming up the porch, dog food. Huh?
That's a good invention.
I know.
I think that's a winner.
Yeah, I think so.
Winner, cat dinner. Meow meow. So what's a meow meow? Do dogs eat cats?
I think they just like to chase the pussy.
Nice.
Mm.
I've seen dogs like get into the bush and
What, like in Australia?
yeah.
There's a dingoes, baby.
Go get that
Australian
wildebeest. Is that a thing in Australia? What a wildebeest?
No, I think it's in a Rolling Stones song, and they were from England.
But I've seen them get bunnies, like eat bunnies. The beagle that my relative had would kill them, but then the lab would
Nurse it back to health.
crunch it.
take the lucky paw and run with it.
Yeah, the beagle was confused. Let's take it to the lab. The lab's like,
Do you remember that when we were younger?
There's still a heartbeat.
Did you ever carry around like an old dead rabbit's foot for luck?
No. But I remember people who did is to hang them off their rearview mirrors.
Yeah.
Remember the garter thing from weddings? Everybody back in the 80s had a freaking garter hanging. Like, I got the garter hanging on the rearview mirror of my El Camino.
They couldn't lure in some chick like, oh, he got the garter belt. He's next.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
all the dudes were doing that.
The dudes who couldn't get chicks.
Yeah, the dudes. But the rabbit's foot thing was wasn't it
gross.
they called it a roach clip, right? Is that what it was? It the
No,
whole
it would have
bead?
it was a dead rabbit's foot, and then it would be colored, and then it would have like the metal cap on it,
like you would
and
see
the
on an
chain.
ornament. Like you would see on an ornament.
It looked like a Christmas ornament, but it had the little nubby chain, whatever the hell they're called.
But didn't have the metal binder
I
clip.
think that's hair feathers you're thinking of.
Maybe so.
Yeah, the rabbit's foot just had that chain,
Yeah.
had like the slipping chain, the ball,
the
and the
little
clasp,
ball, little ball joint chain.
and everybody had them.
Did you have one?
Yep, sure.
What was the purpose of that? Was it
It was for luck.
for luck?
But how lucky was the rabbit who lost his foot for your luck?
yeah, that's
Gross.
deep.
And the pet rock.
The pet rock. The guy made $1 million.
He did. Like he got a $100 load of gravel and was like, boom.
That's from Office Space, the movie. Did you see that? The guy was talking about the pet rock because he was making a jump to conclusions mat. It looked like a twister board. It was a jump to conclusions mat. It's like anything's possible. The guy with the pet rock made $1 million. I don't think that's a bad idea. I don't think I owned a pet. That might have been a little
It's a
before
lot smarter in this fucking podcast. I can say that.
My neighbor had a pet rock in a box, I remember.
He had a pet one in his box.
She was a girl. And it was a girl, to be honest with you. And she had a little, like a cardboard house.
Yeah.
And there was a pet rock inside with like grass.
Yeah.
Like Easter grass. I'm like, he bought a
Laziest
fucking
pet.
box.
Laziest pet ever.
And they put like Google eyes on it.
The
It was
stick,
like
this little
$5 or
stickers
$6.
that with the eyes that
Yeah,
would
yeah.
roll
I remember
around. I don't think I
How
Some
fucking
some
weird.
kids would paint them.
pet rock. I had GI Joes,
Yeah.
a lot of those. And
Transformers.
Transformers and
That was a big one
He-Man.
back then.
He-Man was
He-Man.
pretty
I
big.
couldn't do the He-Man thing. I just couldn't do it.
Why?
It's just a bunch of guys. It's like they're half naked. They're all bulging muscles. Play with me, please. I couldn't do it.
But they had Evil Lynn. Evil Lynn she was yellow for some reason.
She was fire.
Yeah, but who was the girl
was
version of
jaundiced.
He-Man? Like She-Ra.
She-Ra. Yeah.
Yep.
Remember yeah.
She-Ra Easton.
No, She-Ra.
Who was the lady who played her?
Oh,
the movie?
She-Ra.
Didn't Dolph Lundgren do He-Man back in the 80s in the movie? Wasn't that him?
Think.
God, that shit
Wasn't he
terrible.
like a nuclear physicist or something crazy
I have no idea.
in real life?
He was like this.
IRL.
He was like this green, muscular guy that got real calm when people started eating chips.
His inner Hulk came out.
That's how gamma rays work.
My inner Bruce Banner comes out every time that.
Every time, just calm down.
Yeah. It's like
It's very soothing. Could you chew those with your mouth open? Thank you.
I got road rage. Now I'm a doctor. A doctor of peace and patience.
Doctor.
Patience.
I'm a doctor.
A doctor of patience. Get it?
Yeah. You see what you did there? I was big in Star Wars. That was big back then. The Star Wars action figures.
Yeah, there was tons of stuff for Star Wars made by Kenner.
Yeah.
By Kenner.
Yeah, and you bust them open. They all smell like cancer. Remember that?
I had the Darth Vader head that you fill with all the action figures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the carrying case.
I see
Yeah.
people getting like $15,000 for
That's
that now.
crazy. It's crazy. I gave all mine away when I was, I don't know, back in my 20s. I gave them to some kid. He wasn't well off. And I'd given him all those toys. And then later, when my kids come along, I'm like, wow, I didn't regret giving it, but I mean, they were worth a ton of money. And he probably just threw them away. Like, thanks, Norb. Oh,
Shoot him with a BB gun.
yeah, probably. Yeah.
I collected a lot of baseball cards growing up.
My son's getting into that. Football cards, which I didn't know was,
It's huge.
it's crazy.
There's so much money in old cards and the new
Well,
ones.
now,
even.
well, they have these new ones now where you pay like $50 a box, and there's like 40 something cards in the box, but there's a chance you're either going to get memorabilia or an autograph. So just last weekend, my son's like, hey man, they're on sale for like $38. And I'm like, just get it, dude. Just get it. So he's in his room. He's like, yes. I'm like, what? What'd you get? You get an autograph? He's like, no, I got memorabilia. I'm like, what? Well, let me see it. So he brings it out, and it's this rookie football player. I don't even know what team he was in. And it's this little patch of fabric. And I was like, oh, they're doing the jockstrap thing. He's like, oh, really? Really? I was like, no, buddy,
I was really big into baseball cards, and I used to get this magazine called Beckett Baseball Card Monthly, so you could price how much the cards were worth. And I used to send cards away to stadiums. I had all the stadium addresses, and you sent a card that you wanted autographed to the stadium, and sometimes they would come back, sometimes they wouldn't, and they were autographed. So one of my favorite players was Mark Grace from the Cubs. It was his 1989 Upper Deck card, and it came back. I sleeved it up real quick, and I'm sitting there on the toilet and reading the stats, and it fell on the toilet.
Oh no!
Yeah, so I traded it
Of course you did.
for a baseball glove.
That's a shitty trade.
Yeah, they both smelled the same at the end of the day. Dropped it right in the toilet while you're sitting there dropping it, dude.
I did.
This glove has got some balls going through it, but you know what? This card had some balls going past
Seen
it.
some shit.
It's seen some shit.
This card's been through some shit.
I have a signed Herschel Walker rookie card.
Still?
Like number 1992 of 2000.
That's good. That's awesome.
Yeah. Like I'm holding on to it till he passes, to be honest. But
Yeah.
what else can you do?
I don't have. Do you have any autographed stuff other than a card?
I have the Herschel Walker, and I think I have an old Tony the Tiger Frosted Flakes baseball, and I can't remember who it was signed by. I think that's it.
I have an autographed
Where
picture of.
Where did you get that?
It came in the fucking cereal, Gunner.
A freaking baseball. A baseball came in cereal.
Yeah, actually, no, it came with a freaking. God, he gets so aggressive.
I'm freaking mad about it. I'm like, it's not geometrically possible.
It came with a coupon, and then you had to send the coupon
and
back,
pay
and
for
then-
shipping and handling.
Yeah, and then I used to have a really sweet poster signed by a sweet band.
Oh, I have that poster now.
Yeah.
I do.
Do you really?
I do. Yeah.
Right.
So long story short, back in 1990. No, I was kidding.
It's probably
It was in the
close in the
90s.
90s.
It was in the 90s. Yeah. So,
Who's the band?
all right. So, well, listen.
Oh,
Queensryche.
Queen. Yeah,
My ex-wife was bidding. Tell him the story. He tells the story better.
I'm going to work, or I'm coming home. No, I was on my way to work.
Yeah, that is clear.
This fucking guy.
No, the window.
Take a fucking bus right to
What
the
shift
wall.
were you on?
I was on my
I'm
way
going to work or coming home. It was night or day.
Cock and balls. I'm on my way to work.
You said I had AIDS.
I didn't say you had AIDS. Somebody else
you
said
said-
you came in crying. You're like, dude, I think I got AIDS.
I don't think I was crying.
I would have been.
I would have cried if I did.
I felt horrible for
I
you.
had to get tested. I went and got tested.
Yes, I
right
felt
away.
horrible for you, dude. I really did.
And they're like, it's a good 35-year incubation period.
That's when
so I'm still waiting.
that's when it first came on scene. He still spreads the love. He don't care.
I'm still waiting. So
you
you were
never
on
know
your
what
way,
you're gonna get.
way to work
on my
or
way to work.
from work.
And a local radio station. I had 2 jobs.
Yes.
We got 10 jobs, see. I'm on my way to work, and a local radio station was having an auction.
Yeah.
And they were auctioning off this signed Queensryche poster. And I'm like, that will be sweet. So I was thinking about getting it for a buddy of mine who really is into Queensryche. So I'm going, and I dropped out this bid. Well, there was this other person. I'll refer to that person as an asshole because they kept bidding me up, like $5, $7.
That was my ex-wife. I will also refer to that person as an asshole.
Like they're completely like, keep bidding me up. Unbeknownst to me, that it was his ex-wife bidding me up for the same fucking poster for the same fucking person. So I'm like, I'm trying to fucking do a good thing here.
Before you even knew him?
No.
Or this was back.
Yeah, see, I was inside my mom's belly, and I had mental
I
telepathy.
didn't say. Listen, I didn't. First off,
You were buying him stuff before you knew him?
No, I was hanging out with
I
Norm
didn't
pretty
say-
heavy at the time.
you were bidding on stuff before you were born. I didn't say that.
I seen a light and I hollered through the tunnel, like, I'll take that for $1.
I thought it would have been quite the story had you been bidding on something his ex-wife was bidding on too before you knew him.
No.
And then
No, I
found
knew.
out
No,
years
he-
later.
But he didn't know
It's
who
like
was
finding out who your biological dad is.
Right.
Kind of a thing.
Right.
But
No, but we were bidding
My
on
bad.
the same thing for the same person.
my bag.
He just
My
didn't know
bad.
who was the other bidder. He didn't
You
know.
were bidding on it for him?
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice of you.
So then I got it, and I don't know what happened, but I never gave it to him. And I'm not
20,
even
20 years later,
So yeah, 20 years later, we're going through. We're talking about a guitar for my son. He helped me out a lot.
I was
on-
reeling up my weed eater.
with my electro drill. Zoom.
boogie, boogie,
I
boogie.
still doing it manually like Daddy taught me.
And my mom was going through my closet after my dad had passed. You know, when someone passes, they go through and try to
Right.
get rid of everything.
Sure.
She's like, I found this thing in your closet. I'm like, who? What shall that be?
If it's stuck to the wall, just leave it.
Was that autographed too?
Like it could have been anything. I don't know what's in there. So I got him like, oh, this is perfect. Because he's been helping my son out with different things on the guitar and
Yeah.
getting a good deal and sending him on a straight path for the guitar. So I get him like, oh, that's what I did with it. I thought I took it to my house and then I thought maybe my ex had stolen it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, her mom's a piece of shit trash and
Yeah.
so is she. So
So hot.
my mom found it.
I'm at trash.
Didn't have AIDS.
Hot trash.
Hot garbage.
So my mom found it and I gave it to Norm. I'm like, here, had this years ago. So I waited literally like 20 some years.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
funny.
recently gave it to him in the past, 6-7 months.
It was last Christmas.
Was it last
It
Christmas?
was last Christmas. I got it last Christmas.
Nice.
Sweet. It was from, 1075. I had to get out in the studio and pick it up. I just won the bid.
But what's cool is like it's worth more probably than anybody realizes because Chris DeGarmo is on that and his autograph's on there. And that's kind of a big deal.
You were bidding on it online?
On the phone.
Oh.
No, that was before I think even the internet was, you could bid online. You had to call into the radio station.
It would have
place and
been
bid.
dial up anyway back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just
It's-
it was
it's-
like they used to have a big auction to do different things like that. Like you could bid on tickets, you can bid on this. I'm like, I want.
Did you
this
have to
poster.
get through to the guys and then,
And then
was
place
it
the
hard
bid.
to even get through to even bid?
I had to call. I think it was like 4 to 10 times. I don't really know the difference. How many times I kept calling because she would call. And they'd go up like $5.
But
It's so funny.
you didn't know that she was bidding
No.
on it. Okay.
And then we went to your house for something. And then we were talking about, I think she was talking about this asshole who outbid her on this poster. I'm like,
That I was supposed to
Really?
get that Christmas all those years back.
yeah, I ruined that Christmas. But I made it up for him like 20 some Christmas later.
20-something Christmases
Oh,
later.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. I have it sitting in my house. It's under protection.
And it
It's from
honestly was just
Italy.
rolled up and put on top of my old closet, put in the back, not crushed or pinned. Somehow it stayed nice.
Intact. Yeah.
No
it's-
wrinkles, no.
It's good. Yeah.
It was nuts. I literally, when I unrolled it, I keep saying literally because it irritates the life out of me.
No, it's because you're cognizant
Of the word.
of the word now.
Well, that's the thing.
What-
you do
what-
a whole thing about words that irritate you, and then you find yourself saying words that irritate you.
I think what it is that I think I'm so like realistic in regards to its meaning that it kind of messes with me. So people saying literally is really just an added word, like saying totally.
You appreciate the literal meaning of it.
That's what I despise. Like, man, no shit. He literally just scored 2 touchdowns in 30 seconds. No shit. I was there. Like, we saw it. He didn't hypothetically do it. He was there. We were watching it.
You didn't do it in the
sister-in-law-
third person.
My sister-in-law keeps sending me text messages, or we now work for the same company. So I got one message this morning like, good morning, first day, blah, blah, blah. Then the last one, she's like, what is she? What's the other word that I hate?
There are so many of them.
Irregardless, I hope you have a good day. I'm like, ew. I don't think I can cuss on my new work platform right now, but I want you to know I'm going to mention you tonight, and I'm going to tell everybody how horrible you were to me.
Yeah. Good. Sounds good.
You might cut this out.
It's one thing is when he started off on that first podcast with irregardless, he just, he busted in to kind of get things on track.
Mhm.
And he was like, irregardless. And you were like, well, wait, whoa. I thought that was your word. and I wanted to jump in and I was going to say, I don't own the words.
Well,
Well, you kind of do. It's pending.
there's people that make up their own words. I got a guy at work that does it. He'd be like, man, that food was tazage. It's like, what? Just makes up his own words.
Was what?
Yeah. That chicken was fandango-ish.
Fandango-ish. I think that's where you get buy tickets. Is it Fandango? I think you're right.
Fandango-ish. I let my 10-year-old watch Predator a couple of weeks back, and I thought, like, we're so, we're doing
around.
Stick around.
Different.
It was
different,
Commando. It was
different
Commando. Yeah.
movie.
It's Commando. So
it's not a tumor.
So what happened? We were making like salsa or something. I'm like, put it in the chopper, and the kids are like, what's that from? I'm like, Predator. Oh, it's Fred. You guys are little. So my son was like, oh, can I watch it? I'm like, it's not a funny movie. He's like, is it like guns and stuff? I'm like, yeah, but it's pretty violent, man. I don't know. So my wife goes to bed. And I'm like, hey, you want to watch Predator? I'm all excited about it. He's like, yeah. Wear headphones so she don't know. I'm like, yeah. So we're sitting there watching Predator headphones. Like some dude's getting his spine ripped out. And he's looking at me like grinning. He's like, this movie's awesome. I was like, yeah, it's not bad. So, and I think I'm in the clear, right? Until like 2 days later, he wrecks his bike in the driveway. And he comes in and he didn't cry or nothing. I was real proud of him. He's all puffed up. He's got his little man titties sticking out. He's all puffed out. He's like, He goes in and my wife's like, oh my God, you're bleeding. He goes, I ain't got time to bleed. She's like, where'd you hear that at? Where'd you?
It's good at school.
Dad says it. I don't know. It was great.
Looking back at some of the movies we watched when we were like that age, like Porky's,
Right.
Rambo.
Well, that was my defense to my wife because I'm like, look, at some point we got to get out of bubble guppies. I'm being hypothetical, but you know what I'm saying? Like it has to be like these kids gotta
toughen up.
So then I was a total asshole about it. I'm like, hey, let's watch Falling Down with Michael Douglas.
Remember we used to call
My wife's looking at me across the room, glaring. She's like, really? This one?
I feel that way a lot of times during the week, like Michael Douglas did it in Falling Down.
Me too.
There's
Me
so
too.
many similarities.
Me too. Well, my thing going in was telling the kids, like, look, you got to control your anger. You got to learn to just vent, breathe a minute, not get carried away in the moment, or like the sense that you're hooked with the event that pissed you off, that you have to pursue this, because no good's going to come out of it, kind of thing. Let's watch Falling Down.
This is what happens.
Mm-hmm. My wife, she could have watched, Mulan or something. It's the same message or whatever it was. Some Disney film, I'm like, it's a cartoon. No.
I like a lot of musicals. Surprised?
No, I remember that years ago that we would talk about movies and you would talk about musicals, and I hate musicals. I freaking hate musicals because they don't make sense to me. Like nobody at my job starts spinning around dancing, like, it's fucking shit's going everywhere. Fucking shit's pissing me off. You know what I mean? Like everybody's aggravating me because that's what it would be like, and it's just crazy.
I could see Bill doing it though.
Yeah. Musicals are just so dull. Like life doesn't work like that, man.
Yeah. Like
It
see
just
you on
doesn't.
the street and I start going, jets. Maybe not hardcore musicals where the whole entire thing is, but The Greatest Showman I thought was pretty good.
That one wasn't too bad.
Did you see Hamilton?
No, but I grew up watching music. My mom was hip into like all the Fred Astaire and Ginger Roger movies and all that stuff. So I think maybe as a child I got cooked on it quick.
West Side Story was terrible as far as acting.
You said it like Christopher Walken.
You did.
It wasn't bad. I liked it twice.
Dancing.
The choreography I liked. I didn't really care for the dancing.
He's like, I could have done it better. Just move the hips a little to the left.
Hamilton is unique for sure.
Yeah, I never seen it.
It's something. Kind of like Falling Down.
If Michael Douglas danced a lot.
If Michael Douglas was Alexander Hamilton at the end.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. As I said earlier, we're going to...
Side spurt.
So my listen, true story. My grandmother And I think it's just
I didn't see this.
this is the way our mouths are shaped, and it must run in like my grandmother's side of the family, I guess I should say. She'll just be sitting there, and all of a sudden you'll hear like it's like a lip fart.
Yeah, yeah.
And so one of my family relatives used to always just do it sporadically in public.
The whole side of my mother's side of the family makes my asshole jealous. That's what you getting at?
Just didn't want to say names. That's all.
Yeah.
It became so much of a parody thing that we did that I found myself doing it on accident. And so that's, again, another thing I had to overcorrect.
I think you're doing great.
But my other relatives that are related to by blood through, certain parents on one side or the other, they do it now too. So there's that.
So it's contagious.
Whatever you said as far as getting ass. I don't even know what you said.
That's how you can go back and play
Getting
it.
ass in that.
That's another store in Pittsburgh. Over the weekend, our little cover band, I do an original thing. I was telling you about the Dino Sampson project that's off on the side. I do that, and we're doing a cover band, and they wanted to call the band Yinzer Jags.
Wow.
Because they were like, we can get any gig you wanted in Pittsburgh. I'm like, no, it's brilliant. We should do it. So I thought it was so funny. So you're in Pittsburgh playing a show, and like nobody claps or something because we suck. Yinzer Jags.
Jag-offs.
Yinzer Jags. We'll be here all week. I think it's brilliant.
Well, everyone, thanks for listening this week to our podcast. We trailed off significantly off of the main topic, but I think it's because of...
Where the fuck are we?
Some of us...
Indians.
Was that the punchline?
Yeah.
Where the fuck are we? The Fakaris.
The Fakaris.
I was trying to think. I'm like, wait, did
Yeah.
that roll off the tongue right? I was confused. Some of us were ill prepared for good greeting card opportunities.
Probably most of us.
Well, Norm definitely was one. I mean, my God, come with something good next time,
Right.
buddy. My guy. People say,
Come on, brah.
bro. In Britain, they say bruv.
Bruv?
Bruv, for some reason.
Oi. Brava.
Let's go, bruv.
Bollocks.
Jackson.
What was it?
Did you say Pollux?
I said bollocks.
Oh, I said Pollux, like Jackson Pollux.
Jackson bollocks.
Buttocks. Oh, bloody.
Oh, Gluteus Maximus.
Oh, bloody hell. All right. So guys, thanks for listening. We're going to come more prepared.
We appreciate you sticking around.
We're going to come more prepared.
I know. It's
That's... Do we...
Do we?
Are you ever?
Are we going to?
I don't know.
Hit it.
We're getting out of here because this is...
Yeah, take off, Hoser.
Hoser?
Hoser.
Don't even know her.
Then maybe you should come more prepared.